and I saw where tons and millions of dollars were earmarked for the redevelopment of East Austin, while African Americans were still able to afford property. And all of those monies, once it got down to the low level, whether it's the city or the county, you begin to see how the funds that were earmarked for East Austin was redirected somewhere else. I mean, so you can create a slum in life by not putting the tax dollars back in there. That's what we saw a lot of. I mean, we fought for the 108 loan for the redevelopment of 11th and 12th Street for it to be thriving with black businesses. That was the only reason why I fought for it. And then how many black businesses did you see on 11th and 12th Street? And then when you saw a lot of African Americans moving out of the community and going further and further back, most of our kids are going to be in Maynard and in the Pflugerville district. And what's happening is because several years ago, there were a number of banks in Austin that wouldn't loan money to not one homeowner over there in East Austin. So redlining and those type of shenanigans transpired for years to where you couldn't get loans. So therefore, and if the tax dollar wasn't put in there, the redevelopment dollars was not put back in there, and you couldn't get a loan. And unemployment for African Americans, we might say it's unemployment is 6 or 7%, but unemployment for black folks has never been 6 or 7%. So therefore, when you can't get a job, when you can't get a loan, those type of things happen to a community. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I could go on today for days with that, but what happened is you created something like, and once it was created and you couldn't get a loan, and then several developers came in and pushed the property value up so high that if you don't have a job or you're living on some type of Social Security or disability, you can't afford to pay the taxes. So pretty basically, that's what transpired to the community. I mean, the dollars were stolen. I mean, so that's what transpired. That's why it's the way it is now. I've got to go and
right. And in some situations where you have to, in order to get that federal money, it has to be slum and blight. So you can come in and spend that money. Well, on some city documents, if you go back a few years, sometimes East Austin begins just east of Congress for the use of those funds. Research to see how Symphony Square was rehabilitated, where that money came from. That's not right beside I-35.
So how do you guys feel like the city and the greater Austin community can support efforts that might revitalize East Austin as a black community, or do you think it's a lost cause?
The black community has to do a lot of that. And like I said, I hate to be old, cynical and jaded, but my area of interest and expertise is cultural history, cultural preservation, that piece of a community's life. And I am heartbroken at what has happened on East 11th Street and what's not happening on East 12th Street in Rosewood. And I fear that it just might be too late. It just might be gone. As the population declines, as the African American population inside the city of Austin declines, and that money goes in this wave. 2 waves ago, many of the foundation bedrock families